Well, things are falling apart very quickly. This is quite alarming what we're going to talk about in today's video. So I hope you are getting prepared for all of these events, because this is just ramping up. It's so insane what we're going to talk about. This is just the last few days of news. Are you ready for this? Just to give you a quick summary. A new agreement. We've got another country now has just signed a military declaration with Russia. Romania's been scrambling jets against Russia. We have a mass riot that's been going on, 200 people killed. We've got soldiers from another country inside another country backed by the US. We've got a coup to overthrow a government. More sanctions against Hungary and Orban. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Let's just get straight into it, because this is the craziest few days of news I think I've heard all year. And that's saying something, because it's been a crazy year already. So let's begin then with the first story here. Russia and North Korea have just signed a new military declaration, but it also covers legal assistance on criminal cases, collaboration against crime, cyber crimes, all sorts of other stuff. But this agreement has drawn huge condemnation from the US, who said they did not give them permission to enter. Try to say it without laughing. The US didn't give them permission to enter into this agreement. Oh, naughty Russia and North Korea. They should have asked for permission, which I'm sure would have been granted. But I wanted to know what this agreement is in aid of, apart from military aid and helping each other out with technology and everything else. They said this, and I quote, "This treaty on comprehensive strategic partnership, which was originally signed in June, that's just come into force, claims it's going to stabilize the situation in Northeast Asia and make a positive contribution to maintaining the balance of power in the region, and," here it is, "lay the foundation for building a new Eurasian security system to counteract Japan, South Korea, and what they deem to be US influence in the region, influence that they don't want." So this is now China, North Korea, Russia, and Iran, which covers the Middle East region. And it's very interesting seeing all the BRICS countries and how their alliances are the ones that are applying for BRICS membership, and how their alliances are shifting quite dramatically at the moment. I think I'm going to be out of breath on this walk because it's extremely hilly. We are doing a new walk today, a different route that we haven't taken before. But let's get into what's just happened with Romania. They have just scrambled their F-16s against Russian fighters. Yes, Russian fighter jets were coming over the region of Odessa in Ukraine. So Romania scrambled their jets. Now, fortunately, there wasn't a dogfight and no armaments were exchanged, but that could have come very, very close. See, it doesn't take much to trigger the whole of NATO, and I think it's just a matter of time with all of these events that keep taking place. Because another thing they're saying about the Odessa region is that there are drone fragments that are, when they're shot out of the air, are falling on Romanian soil. And they're saying that this could trigger an act of war if this continues. I mean, I think that would be pretty ridiculous, actually, to trigger Article 5 or whatever else they're saying over drone fragments. However, there is an unconfirmed report to give some credibility to the Romanian side that a Russian drone did attack something on Romanian soil. Again, it's denied by Russia and it's unconfirmed. But this could trigger something breaking out between the two countries. And just a reminder that my new program is available now and it is on sale. Actually, all 3 of my courses are on sale. There's a link for a bundle, or you can just buy them individually. And it's quite amazing the amount of parents who have been emailing me saying that they've been buying these programs for their children because they're so concerned about conscription and possible war coming. So I think that's quite amazing how many parents are doing this for their kids at the moment. And this weekend, so on Saturday, the second part of the Entrepreneur Flow system actually comes out. So that is module 8, I believe. And then next Saturday, your patience will have paid off because we actually launched the Cashflow blueprint. So this shows you how to make money from home or from anywhere in the world if you want to be a digital nomad and buy one of those visas I talked about that you can get for as little as a couple $100. You can actually get 5-year visas to other countries, but you've got to prove that you do work online. And finally, just a big thanks for all the feedback that's been coming in already on the courses. Honestly, I just couldn't believe the feedback. Some people have been saying they thought my last 2 courses were good and transformational, but this one blows the other 2 out the water. So thank you so much for the feedback so far. Now we've got to talk about the other crazy, huge geopolitical event that's going on right now as the sheep bar behind in the background. Imagine being a sheep, not a care in the world, not knowing anything that's going on. But in Bangladesh, have you heard about this on the news? Almost 200 people have been killed in these massive riots. In fact, it's got so bad, there was a massive curfew throughout the country. They even turned off the internet. The government turned off the internet so that no communications could be broadcast. I mean, this is serious. Even a lot of police officers. Now, there's a lot of background behind it, but in effect, about 30% of the jobs in Bangladesh, there's already very high unemployment with the student numbers, and basically 30% of the jobs were going to a certain group of people in government. So there was these mass protests about it, which turned very, very violent. And it's just, if you've seen any of this footage, you would think the whole country is on fire and rioting. I mean, they even broke into a prison and released all the prisoners. It's just insane. It's like a movie. Oh, there we go. Have a quick view as we walk at this. But now let's talk about what's happening in Haiti. And I'm going to have to look down a lot here and watch my footing because there's massive holes everywhere. But Kenya has actually sent their army to Haiti because 80% of the country is now under gang control. So the government have completely lost control of the country. It's under control by gangs. I've got to read this out to you. The US has sent MRAP vehicles and Kenyan military troops to reclaim Port-au-Prince from gangs. This has been endorsed by the United Nations Security Council, and the whole thing is being led by the United States. So the US haven't sent their own military in, but they have sent in, and they are commanding the Kenyan military. They've given them weapons and vehicles and all sorts of things to regain control of the country. That is a really random story that I haven't heard anywhere. I had to find that on alternative media. And now I've got to tell you about the plot, the coup to overthrow a government. But first, I've got to get up this hill and get over this gate. Okay, the country of Georgia. No, not the state of Georgia in the US, but the country of Georgia just had a coup attempt to overthrow the government. And the investigation is now ongoing. And let me just read this out to you. The investigation coincides with tensions over a foreign influence law requiring media and non-profits receiving over 20% of foreign funding to register as foreign agents. Georgia's richest man denies moving the country towards Moscow and insists on pursuing EU membership. The European Union highly condemns the actions, saying that Georgia is trying to block sanctions on Russia and may even be helping Russia. So the whole story is a little bit weird. You know, you read it and you're like, okay, whose side is the EU on here? Are they saying that the coup was a good thing? Are they saying it's a bad thing? They want to install a new leadership that is more on their side. I mean, it's like a rabbit hole trying to go through it all and understand exactly what is going on. But one thing I do know that's going on is the EU have just come after Viktor Orban yet again. Sanctions. They've put huge sanctions on Hungary now over, well, what they're saying is obviously not that. In fact, I'll read out what they've said, but they've frozen billions of euros that's due to Hungary. Under EU law, it's due to them, but they've frozen it due to, and I quote, democratic and press freedom backsliding. Hungary's Sovereignty Protection Act has been challenged by the European Commission, and it allegedly violates the EU's democratic values. And I quote, "They are breaching rights including respect for private and family life, protection of personal data, and freedoms of expression, information, and association." Again, what does that even mean? We're not exactly sure, and the EU hasn't given specifics either. But what we do know is that they are now sanctioning Hungary for billions of dollars, holding back this money that is due to them. And again, I think it's over the peace mission that he went on, as well as not giving his full backing to the war in Ukraine. But another wild story that's just come out, they're calling this potentially the biggest money laundering operation in history, and it's been filed by Donald Trump. Yes, he's filed this lawsuit against Kamala Harris. I've got to read this out to you because it's so crazy. Here it is. Act Blue, a Democratic donation platform, has been accused of massive money laundering operation by funneling large contributions through numerous small donations using the names of unaware individuals. Allegedly, again, this is allegedly, the Harris campaign used this scheme, breaking down $20 million from a billionaire into 1.6 million donations. Trump alleges that because these donations were made by individuals who didn't make them, he claims this is money laundering as a way to not showcase the fact that there are billionaires that are donating huge amounts of money. So he's saying it's not just one, but it's multiple billionaires and who knows, other entities. Another allegation has just come out as well against Kamala Harris over the $91 million that's been transferred to her from Joe Biden. The complaint claims that Harris is committing the largest campaign finance violation in history by using Biden's campaign funds. They have called for the FEC to take action against this brazen money grab. Now, another story I was just reading as I came out today was about the BRICS countries. They now account for 72% of the world's rare earth metals. This is after the recent expansion. It's gone from 42% all the way up to 72%. And with the new membership that is going in this year, it's going to be even higher. And the thing that is slightly worrying, and I think could drive us towards even more conflict, is that if you actually read some of the proposals by the BRICS countries or the media that they are putting out, by the way, this isn't top secret documents, they are very clear that they want to start withholding some of these minerals from the West. And it goes into loads of different reasons. Some of it's economic, but some of it is basically them saying that we don't want to give all of these minerals and materials to the West for them to use them against us militarily. Now, we can't finish a walk and talk without doing a wild, weird, bizarre, whatever kind of story. So we've got a funny one today, and this was an interview with a climate expert. Yes, he was just on GB News, and he was telling all about climate and, you know, by the way, on this climate stuff, we're getting close now to what I said years ago. Remember, they said by the end of 2024, as we go into 2025, climate change will be irreversible. There's just no turning it back unless they hit the two degree and all this. Well, we're only a few months away now from the end of the year. So let's see what happens. Because I can guarantee you, they're not going to say it's irreversible. They're going to say 2 more years, and it's irreversible. I think that's what's going to come out next. But anyway, this climate scientist, this expert, was on GB News warning everyone about their carbon emissions and all this other stuff. And guess what? He was on holiday in Thailand, where he travels multiple times a year because he said his office is there. So he's an English guy in the UK, but his office is in Thailand. Does that make any sense? First of all, the other side of the world. So the presenter said, hold on, isn't your carbon footprint from all these massive flights huge? And he said exactly what Bill Gates said. So you know what's coming here. He said, no, because of my job as a climate scientist, I'm educating other people. So my carbon footprint isn't really relevant because I offset it by explaining and educating others. Of course you do. Of course you do, my friend. That's what they all say. Didn't Bill Gates say that about all of his yachts and his houses that use more carbon than a small city? And all of his companies and everything. Oh yeah. Because he's educating people, his carbon footprint doesn't matter. But everybody else, even if you're in a tiny little studio apartment, oh, you need to cut back. Yeah, you need to really cut back on everything you do. Oh gosh, one rule for the billionaires and the experts, and another rule for everyone else, hey? What a wacky, wild world we now live in. But that is you now up to date. Let's get back down this hill here. You're up to date now on the crazy news for the week. Remember about the courses in the link below in the description and the pinned comment. But apart from that, I'm going to post the next module on Saturday. Get ready for that. It's going to be exciting. And I will see you, hopefully, tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Take care. God bless. See you then.